showing. Click here to start stream. Oh, you got to click up here. Go live.
Haven't you done this before?
I'm using a bit of a different setup now.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say this is not the first.
I forgot to actually set it up where we've got the going live and people can pile into the room and wait. So.
Oh, the preview or the premiere thing or whatever.
Yeah, I was going to do that. Oh, well. Good.
What are you going to do?
So we got the ZipFIZZ, buddy. Well, I got the ZipFIZZ. You don't.
Yeah, well, this is good. We'll be able to spread out the
next week
insanity.
I'm making you do this next week.
Oh, yeah.
None of this.
To do this.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to do this and get God knows what medical condition from doing.
From large amounts of ZipFIZZ.
What's in it? Can you read like out loud on the before you just read the package before as you're downing it?
I'm gonna actually no, I'm not gonna do it while I down it. So it's packed full of vitamins. I would let you know. By the way, I'm on the TLM 102, and I'm not gonna down this right away. I'm gonna. Jan, how's it going? Cheers. I love the. I gotta change up those emoticons, or whatever they are. That come with the membership.
Cheers.
Welcome, Jen. No, so in this, I'm going to show my age and take my glasses off to read this. 25 calories, 3 grams of carbs, vitamin C 500 milligrams, which, by the way, is 556% of your daily intake right here in this one little thing. 7.5 grams of vitamin E, thiamine 0.6 milligrams, riboflavin 0.65. Niacin, 8 milligrams of niacin. I'm going to be burning up here, man. Vitamin B6, 0.85 milligrams. Folate, 200 micrograms. B12 is 104,000% of my B12 in here. 104,000%. I'm going to overdose on my B12.
Vitamin B12. Well, see, because there's some vitamins, right? There's some vitamins that you can take and you just piss out the excess. Like vitamin C, for example. You can have more than 100% of your vitamin C intake.
I think
in fact, most people
do. B12 too, can you?
Yeah, I feel like that, and it gets weird when you get into the steroids, like the vitamin D, which is a steroid.
Yeah.
And then that can kind of do some weird stuff. But I think they're regular vitamins.
Pantothenic acid? I have no idea what that is. Calcium, magnesium, zinc, selenium, copper, manganese, chromium, sodium, potassium. And it's got, of course, whatchamacallit in it. The upper, it's got a ton of caffeine and stuff.
Of course. Yeah.
So everyone that's watching this live, once since the latest Trash Taste episode isn't on YouTube yet. Trash Taste? Beresford Productions, welcome. What's Trash Taste?
No idea.
Do I want to know?
No idea. Probably not.
Okay.
I don't.
We just dropped a viewer, so we'll wait for a few more people to come in to watch the official ZipFIZZ downing.
The big down.
King B 2 is coming. Pre-orders up for October. Are you gonna get one, Dylan?
Nope.
Why not?
I don't need another mic.
Sure, you could have another microphone. Don't need another.
There are other
microphone.
things that I'm saving up for, like a $3,500 interface. I don't need another microphone.
What's the interface you're saving up for?
The Antelope Orion 32 HD.
That sounds delightful. And that's
it's a 32 channel in, 32 channel out, USB 3.2 and Digi interface.
My goodness, that doesn't have the pre's in it, does it? Or is that just the pre's?
No, that's converters. I also like it because in addition to the 32 analog in and out, it's got actually digital inputs. So my current converters, I can plug into there as well, and I can get 48 channels, which is psychotic.
How often do you need 48 channels?
I don't, but I'm like, I don't want to throw out the converters. So it's like, I like that I can still incorporate them into the system and not have to just completely bin them. Because the reason I'm saving up is because Windows 11 is coming out, as we all know, in like a week.
Yes.
And
as we all know.
I'm prepping.
You're not going to move over, are you?
Not initially. Not initially, but I'm future-proofing the rig. And the MADI card, that's the MADI PCI Express card that's currently in my system, the firmware hasn't been updated since 2012. So it's clear to me that the manufacturer, SSL, is not interested in maintaining that product line any longer.
Okay, 1 second. Is anyone else seeing? Oh, okay, for a second there, you were super zoomed in. All right, just making
Weird.
sure that was kind of weird. Okay, that was
that
kind
was
of
weird.
weird. All right.
I just wanted to get up close and personal with you.
If you're just joining, just so you know, I do have the ZipFIZZ here. I will be. It's still sealed. See all that? Yeah, I'm going to be opening this and downing this all at once. If you're just here to see whether or not I have a heart attack, I'm going to hold off on this for a little bit. We'll do this midstream, just so if I do have a heart attack, at least we can get some viewers in on this.
Ken, what up?
I'm on live chat. How am I not seeing Ken? There you go. Wow, you're getting the chat before me.
That's rare. That's rare.
Wow.
Because I'm looking at it as a viewer and I'm getting stuff before the actual. That's funny.
Make sure you like the stream, Dylan.
Oh yeah, I never do that. That just
No,
occurred
you
to me.
shouldn't. Don't like it.
Because then it
Excuse the numbers.
It throws your shit off.
I don't want any fake numbers. By the way, TLM.
Me being here as it is screws with the numbers.
Yeah, a little bit.
I wouldn't be surprised if the algorithm is smart enough to know that as the viewer, I'm the one on the stream, and is smart enough to discount that view, in the
probably
reconciled
is.
numbers.
You see, I watch anytime I upload one of the videos. I have a separate account that I go in and I watch, and I've accidentally caught myself commenting on the stream or on the video.
Yeah, I've seen it too. I've seen you jump in there and like throwing links up and stuff.
Yeah, and so I'll go in and I'll just watch the video as a viewer would see it, not as a channel owner would see it, just to make sure everything's fine and everything's working. But I'm pretty sure I see that view come off. So I'll go in, you'll see the view click up, and then it'll go away.
Yeah,
so I'm pretty sure they know that my secondary account is also.
That algorithm is creepy, man. Like,
It kind of is. How's everyone doing today? Ken, viewer is faster. OBS has a bit of lag from the software to the stream. Yeah, I like OBS for a lot of things. I'm thinking of getting Streamlabs, but is it called Streamlabs? But you end up having to pay for it to be able to stream to multiple, because I would love to start this stream going to Facebook, Twitter, as well as Twitch. So I'd like to set up so this could be a Friday stream on Twitch as well. Just might as well just throw it out to everybody. To just introduce my new friend, the TLM. This is the TLM 102, the tiny little feller. It's my new toy. I have a new toy.
you've had the 103. Like you've used them before.
But no, I don't like the 103 as much as I like the TLM 102. Now, this isn't going through any processing.
You just don't like it because 102 has a lower noise floor.
Yes, and it's
the
also,
only
I
reason.
just feel like it's a little richer. It sounds a little richer.
And it's also a lot easier to fit into a spec B-roll pan than the U87.
Hint of Shrimp says, do not type just a period into the search bar. Really? Why?
I don't know why I would
Do I
ever
want
do
to
that.
know why? Do not type just a period into the search. I don't want to know.
Oh, here's speaking of YouTube hacks, I don't know if anyone else has realized this. I just figured this out this week. If you're watching a YouTube video and you're not typing in the search bar or anything, but if you just while watching YouTube video, type on your keyboard in your browser the word awesome,
Yeah.
do it.
And a Google
it.
search?
No. Just like if so right now I have our live stream up here. And if
Okay.
I type awesome. Oh, maybe it doesn't work with live stream videos. It works with regular videos, but maybe not.
Okay, well, I don't have a video up and running.
It makes the seek bar at the bottom of the video like change all rainbow color crazy.
Oh, really?
Epilepsy warning, by the way. Like legitimately though, like definitely if you have that, don't do this.
I was watching one content creator that actually at the beginning of their video, they're like, this video has a bunch of flashing lights. I'm like, if you have to put that warning in your video, why would you even put the flashing lights in your video? And it was every time they segued, there was like flashing lights happening. I'm like, that's not right.
It's weird because there's like what I consider flashing lights guaranteed to some people with that affliction is probably like less than that would be enough to like I have no idea what the threshold is of what level of sort of sporadic changes cause issues. I have no idea.
My dog's down here. All right. Asdas, hello, welcome to the stream. Another
Hello.
member, welcome. I love the little things they've got with that.
Yeah. Little
12 viewers. Is this enough? Should I do the ZipFIZZ or should I wait on this?
Well, how much are we in? We are. I'd say wait till 5:30.
All right, 5:30. Missy, get out of there. My dog is downstairs.
I was gonna say,
she's
well,
going for the cat litter.
That was short-lived.
She's going for the cat litter. All right, so then let's talk about this. The TLM 102 is going to be coming up for review in the next little while. I have a bunch of stuff already. Mixcast 4 is on the way. I've actually got confirmation thanks to Podcastage. He actually reached out to them and just said, yes, make sure you send it to him. Which,
Woo!
That's awesome. I love that creator support on YouTube. So they're sending that. I've also some more stuff coming from Rode. But the big one is we got the U87 AI video going to be coming up soon. I've got a blue snowball. You know what I'm going to be doing? This Monday.
Using it as a baseball?
No, this Monday I'm actually doing a video of why I actually still recommend the blue snowball. I actually have a valid reason for recommending the blue snowball. Technically, the blue snowball ice. And I know I'm going to get a little bit of hate for it because
I was going to say that's a controversial position to take.
Well, the blue snowball, the only difference between that and the ice is the ice doesn't have the polar patterns. Which, by the way, if you're buying a blue snowball, what the hell do you need multiple polar patterns for?
I was going to say the ice is the ice. That one's colder though, right?
Midnight Wolf. Oh, good, not that late. I was making people at hardware store go to Top Shelf for a Halloween inflatable display. You are not late, Midnight Wolf. We've got the ZipFIZZ still not opened.
Nope.
That will be coming soon. I promise.
8 minutes.
Yeah, 8 minutes. Okay, so the snowball ice. I've got the video on that, and then we're going to be following that up the next Monday with the video on the U87 AI. So I'm literally going from bottom of the pile.
No,
to
you
top
need to
of
do.
the pile.
You need to do like a newer condenser mic review, and then.
Is that worse than a snowball? Is the Newer worse than a snowball?
Oh yeah, I a friend of mine voiced something this week, and she started in college, and she had a newer mic, and
Which
she's like,
one is it?
"Oh God, I don't know."
NW700 or something?
I was gonna say it's the condenser, but guaranteed they have more than one condenser.
The condenser. Yeah, they have a few.
But it just sounded so bad, and she was like, "What do I do?" And I recommended the MV7 because it doesn't have an interface. It was a USB mic.
No.
And I was like, honestly, and especially considering in her case, she got her tower right beside her. So I was like,
God.
Yeah, you need a mic with some rejection.
I saw Podcasters did the video on the new MVX, the Shure MV7X, sorry. That it doesn't have any USB. It's an XLR mic. It's the exact same as the MV7. It's a little bit cheaper. Wait, no, it's a little cheaper than the MV7.
SM7. Wait,
No,
so
MV7.
it's an MV7 without the USB.
Yes, so it's just
that basically
straight
means
XLR.
it's an SM7 at that
Which
point, basically.
I didn't really like the XLR on the
I
MV7.
know. Well, that's what we talked about. Like even I will only recommend it in a situation where it's being used as a USB mic.
So I'm not exactly sure what they're thinking there, but I mean, hey, maybe they can corner a bit more market with the cheaper mic, but it didn't sound bad on Podcastage's voice or on Bandrew's voice. I guess you should just call him Bandrew. I didn't really mind it on his voice. On my voice, I just,
Yeah, I think you guys are on a first name basis now.
Yeah, Bandrew and Aiden.
You know, it just occurred to me, I'm glad this Mika arm is as good as it is, because if this ever gave way, I'd get a concussion. Like, I've got this above my head all day, and just waiting to kill me.
Swing it off to the side, man.
I usually do, just out of just sheer nervousness. I have a funny thing. So today, I got a spot to voice. I think I'm allowed to say this. I got a spot to voice an NTL spot for the Attorney General of Canada. There's a slight little mail insert that I had to read the mail bits. And this is an example of a sentence that is definitely a client insert. And I will read it.
Oh, no.
If you faced, and this is a whole sentence, mind you, there's no period anywhere in here. If you faced any form of sexual harassment, assault, or discrimination on the basis of gender or sexual orientation in the Canadian Armed Forces or employed with the Department of National Defense or staff of the non-public funds, be heard. That's a sentence.
Wow.
In one breath. In one breath. And I had to take that, I don't know how many times, not only to get everything in the one lung, but to get the inflection right. Because there's commas, honestly, in some awkward places in there.
You know, like, you can use both of your lungs while doing that.
It was a figure of speech there, smart ass. But no, so there's just like every time, like there are sometimes like, you know, writers that write stuff like that, like script writers know how much stuff to cram into a breath.
Yeah.
But
Well,
you can
that's why
always
you
tell.
use the bloody ellipsis.
Yeah, you can always tell when there's a client insert because it's a long run-on sentence with a bunch of not conversational words.
You've had a rough week, eh? You're kinda
Honestly, this week has been busy. The Thursday off, for those that aren't in Canada, we had a new statutory holiday on Thursday. So we got a Thursday off. I never want that again, ever. Honestly, that Thursday being off threw the entire flow of the week off for everybody. And not to mention we had announcers working yesterday and salespeople were working yesterday. It's like creative was seemingly one actually had the day off. It was weird. I mean, an important day for sure, but it was just in a weird spot.
Yeah, Thursday's
Thursday.
rough. Next year is going to be Friday. Midnight Wolf says, I use a Shure MVI interface I got for $10 on clearance for the first time, and I was surprised how well it worked, especially with the P420. I've never heard of the Shure MVI.
I've never heard of that. What the?
Can you look up the Shure MVI?
I'm going to look that, yeah.
While you're doing that, I also got some feedback. Not a lot of people watched my video on the Rocket Torch.
The Rocket Torch. I don't even remember what that is.
That was the USB gaming mic that I did.
Right. As soon as you said it, I was like, I think it's that, but...
This is interesting. So, and this is why reviews matter, by the way. If anyone's like, because I had to put the video why I'm so tough on reviews, because people got really angry with me. Well, you're just, you're knocking these mics.
You're just being a dick.
And no, there's actually reason. And for one, Rode, I know that Rode made changes to the Rodecaster due to feedback. So every time they release more stuff, is because people have said, we want this. And that's usually reviewers saying, it would be great if we could have this. Now, in the Rocket Torch, the one thing I said was that I didn't like it without an EQ profile on the microphone. It sounded bad. And they said, hey, just want to let you know that I got around to taking some notes on your video. From the videos so far, we've definitely had a few people like you who've suggested Rocket add EQ adjustability. So I'll pass that note along from you as well. And we're waiting on more from Neat Turtle Beach in terms of getting production up and running. So if you're interested in getting your hands on those mics when they release, the King B2, let me know. So I might be able to get the King B2.
Nice.
Woo! Oh, so you looked up the MVI?
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. it's a cute little one channel.
No.
One mic input, combi jack, headphone
Shure
output.
interface.
It basically looks like they took the internals of the SM7 or the MV7. The digital internals of the MV7 and put them in a box, basically.
That's
like
fair.
just took the microphone out of the situation, and basically.
I actually liked the sound of the MV7 as a USB mic. So if those are the pre's they're using.
Again, I'm
assuming
because it's got the it follows the model SKU.
Yeah.
I mean all the features on it, the feature
So
set on it
now
looks
you can
identical.
buy the MV7X. That's an XLR going through the MVI. That is basically the same. That would be awesome.
I don't understand though. Just like business, like I'm not knocking the MVX, but like I just don't. I'm trying to understand what the market segment they're trying to attack is.
It's cheaper and it looks like an SM7B. So now and I've seen a lot of streamers using the MV7 as their streaming mic.
Is the MVX cheaper than the MV7?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So they basically pulled the guts out and then just sold it as an XLR.
So basically now what they have is they have the SM7, they have the MV7, which is a more user-friendly sort of slightly lesser version than the SM7, and then they have the essentially what amounts to the budget SM7B, which is the MV7X or the MVX.
No, it's MV7X. Yeah.
MV7X.
Yeah. All right, it's 5:30. Okay.
Do it.
We're gonna do this. So this is ZipFIZZ, and we went over the ingredients earlier. If you missed it, jump back. We got 14 people in here, so...
If this doesn't turn into a short, I will be horribly disappointed.
This should be a short?
100%.
So?
100%.
Well,
Absolutely.
then you got to have the aspect ratio of the cell phone. Like, it's got to be in portrait mode, not landscape.
Well, your head's not that fat.
It's that fat! Okay.
That needs to be short. It's that fat. I love that.
It is that fat. All right,
It is that fat.
Pain in the ass to get off. So this is Sound Speeds. Apparently loves this stuff. Drinks it all the time. Apparently, sources say. allegedly.
That's a pricey habit.
Oh man,
As we
that is
discovered.
wow. Wow. Ooh. All right. So I've got my water sitting here. This is my water. I drank a little bit of it, thinking that I was going to have. Then I realized I can't leave midstream for more water. So that's all the water I've got to take down this whole thing. So, you ready, Dylan?
Let's do it.
You're doing this next week.
I was going to say, I'm going to be on a delayed video here. I'm just going to be listening to the audio of you doing this.
Oh. 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 Ah. 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 Oh, that tastes horrible. It's so dry.
I mean, it's not meant to be consumed like that.
It's still on my tongue.
I'm just getting the facial reactions now. Oh, there we go. The cringe. Oh, the cringe. Yas. Yas. Oh, man.
Did I get it all? Oh, I got it all.
You better hope you did.
I got it all. Oh, that's gag reflex, man. And people are leaving the stream. They're like, fuck it. We saw what we needed to see.
It's like, yeah, suddenly Aiden just turned into shoe nice over here.
Oh. All right, so if this stuff kicks in and I have a heart attack, who's calling 911? Yeah, literally, we've lost 4 viewers since I started taking that. People are like,
It's funny.
I'm not in for this crap.
We went all the trouble, like crowdfunded that last week or the week before.
Was that worth the money? That's all I want to know. I want to know.
Oh, I'm going to be doing it.
It's still in my teeth, dude, and I'm out of water. Oh. Who drinks it like that? Who
Not
does
me.
that?
I don't think the manufacturer would recommend that you do that again.
I'm kind of like, well, how does that hit you when you take it all at once?
Oh, Jesus.
That's a fair question, isn't it? Like,
yeah.
Oh, man, a little bit of a stomach ache, too.
Oh, no. Yeah. No shit. No shit. Your stomach acids like, the fuck is this?
Jesus. Oh, that's... okay, so I'm going to check something here. Give me a second. Yeah.
You're going to check your heart rate?
Probably have to check my heart rate in a bit. Oh, that is just wrong. Oh, there it is. Monetization. Oh, yeah. Midnight Wolf. And Midnight Wolf was the one that was put. Oh, 99 cents. Thanks, Midnight Wolf. Liberty Dude.
Just for pain and suffering.
Did Liberty Dude come to this stream? Because that was Liberty Dude that actually
exclusively
paid for that.
funded that. Yeah. Like, oh, well, not totally exclusive.
Thank you, Midnight Wolf, for the 99 cents. Much appreciated. That was totally worth 99 cents. Wow. Oh, I have a whole box of this crap. Well, half a box.
Well, you're not supposed to don't do it like that.
Dylan's getting the other half box, so I'm
boy.
literally. You can stay up all night with these things.
No kidding. Yeah. Yeah, I already have that problem enough. I have a shot of espresso at 3 p.m. and I'm already up all night. This will kill me.
It's like a blueberry flavored.
How accurate would you say it is?
It's really harsh. Like, well, the powder's really harsh.
Duh.
Like it's really
That's like buying one of those Minute Maid, concentrated juice cans and taking a spoonful out of it.
Yeah, but this one has extra in it. I got some of it on my hand, and it's like all gross and stuff. See, it's got
it's all gooey, and your sweat's like mixing with it. And,
yeah, I'm starting to feel it already. Woo! All right, so what else did we have to talk about other than my incredible sweats that I'm about to go through? I'm a little sad Liberty Dude isn't here because he's the one that actually financed this.
After it gets posted, tag him in one of the comments.
Oh no, I definitely will. I definitely will. And lots of people come back and watch this after the fact. So
did they actually?
Yeah. No, this usually. So let me actually look here.
I was gonna say I thought lives were always kind of one of those things where they probably got a few views after, but I always thought most of them were obviously during the
No, there's 158 views.
like total.
164. Yeah. No, this is after the fact. So
Oh wow.
158 people come back and watch it after the fact. I get, and the fun thing is like most of these are like 100% like ratio, but then you'll get the odd one where I'll talk about something. I guess people will come to the stream and not realize that it's just two guys drinking and like shooting the shit, and
Pretty
so
much.
people will start unliking the video or
Well, like I
disliking
don't
the
like
video.
the WAN. I mean, the WAN show is more structured because they seem to come a little bit more prepped. But it's the same thing. It's Luke and Linus just sitting there going through it. It's like just
I've
random shit.
considered having more structure.
Well, we started out with that dream, and you had that Word document.
Well, I still have like there's things I want to talk about because there are things that happen throughout the week. The problem is I'm so freaking busy throughout the week that I don't have time for the structure involved in
And
it.
like there's like and my problem is like I'm working in such a niche field that, as we've discovered in the past, that I talk about most of the things that happen during my job and we lose half our viewership like immediately.
And
so
that's
there's not
like I really want to like maybe go into, maybe a tech based kind of thing, and but then at the same time, does it need to be? I mean, just hang out and chat. I like chatting with the people which, by the way, when Bangs Naughty Bits isn't here, it is quiet.
It is dead. Yeah, it is dead.
It is quiet
We're
as all
not
get
Bangs
out.
throwing around shade or just the lulls.
Yeah,
It's just dead.
So was he one of the few that just walked in the door? Hey, Bangs.
I saw someone comment. I was like, oh my God, that'd be hilarious.
Anyways, yeah. I don't know. I can feel like a little edgy now. I also had 4 cups of coffee today.
That is, I'm shocked that you feel edgy all of a sudden after downing.
How much of the medical ingredient is there?
the medical wow.
Okay,
The
so
medical
caffeine.
ingredient.
So it's got a botanical antioxidant blend.
Okay, so it's a
Antioxidant.
plant. Some kind of a plant.
For some reason, Canadian YouTube live streams are more entertaining. Yeah, we're a little weird up here.
Yeah, we are weird.
Oh my God, this is really small. Grape skin extract? Why do I need the skin of the grape?
And the extract, like, how much money is there in producing extract from the skin of a grape?
Guarana seed extract.
And how do you do that without extracting? Like, I'm actually curious, like, what the extraction process is for the skin of a grape.
Probably boiled to fuck. And
Imagine. They got to find some way to get the rest of the shit out.
But who's like, man, I could use some grape skins.
Yeah.
Just eat a couple
Really?
grapes, man.
Yeah, really. Like, well, maybe it's one of those things like a potato. Like, the skin is really healthy, but the meat is just sugar. Maybe it's one of those things.
Still, you can eat grapes. Like, I mean, grab a bag. I'm sure there's not a bag of grapes in here. Well, I don't know.
It could be a bag of grape skins. I mean,
I can still, like, the taste is, because I didn't have enough water to wash it all down, the taste is still, like, really in there. And funny, we're down to 7 viewers now, so we've
this
lost
is your fault.
half.
This is your fault. Actually, no, this is
Yeah, Liberty Dude's fault.
Yeah, I was gonna say Liberty Dude's fault.
It's a good idea for a stream. You pay me to eat random things on stream, I'll do it.
Well, that was basically, that was the business model of Shoe Nice's YouTube channel.
Shoe Nice?
Just remember that guy Shoe Nice, where he
No.
would like eat, like he would drink an entire bottle of Jack on a single like YouTube video, like chug an entire bottle of JD,
I don't know if I
and,
want to
like,
do that.
or he'd like eat a lit candle like on stream, or like just stupid shit.
Maybe I'll stick to microphones. That
yeah.
doesn't sound like as much fun.
Or like I think he like drank a bottle of wood glue one time too. Like just really dumb shit.
That doesn't seem like the smartest idea in the world.
No, it's funny because you watch, and it's obviously had some impact on the guy's mental health because you watch his like the last videos on his channel, and he's just kind of like, "Hey guys, it's Shoe Nice again." Like he's I don't probably, but he's like half dilapidated in most of his videos.
Bangs!
I
Bangs
blame
is
Trump.
here.
There we go, and that is the comment. That is the best, sort of "Hey, how are you?" comment that
I don't
someone could make.
see. I don't want. I put up something about vaccination on my Twitter, and I think it was one of the viewers from this channel kind of messaged me like, "Dude, stick to what you're doing."
Oh
And
yeah, yeah. It's like,
I've never subscribed to that because I do believe
No.
that we're all humans. We're all part of the human
well,
element.
and also like your channel is your brand. Your brand is
Yeah.
you. You are your channel. So to just omit, I mean, it's hard because some people interpret it as like you're using your platform to promote
Which
propaganda.
yeah, like I keep a lot of my personal views out of everything because I just don't care. Well, it's not that I don't care. It's like I'm not here to fight. I'm
Yeah.
living my life the way I see fit. And I, really
I
don't
have
care.
a lot of strong political views, but at the same time, I know when is not the time to die on that hill.
Yeah, we're also Canadians, so our strong political views. Yeah.
Compared to
Yeah.
compared to down there, not even close.
So how you doing, Bangs? I just downed this, Bangs. If you missed it, I did the ZipFIZZ already. Back up a little bit because that was an experience.
It's worth it. Yep.
You think it was worth it?
Oh yeah. Well, it's worth it to watch it.
Oh, it's
Probably
worth
not
it to watch.
do
Well,
it.
we're doing this next week. You too are going to be doing this. Did you see Ron Paul was banned from YouTube yesterday? Ron Paul was banned from YouTube yesterday.
Really?
And
You
is
mean-
Liberty
you-
dude here? I don't.
Who's
think,
Ron Paul?
What's he's in the God damn it.
Is he like a YouTuber? Is it-
Activist, physician, retired politician. Yeah.
Okay. I saw Ron Paul, and for some reason my head went to RuPaul. I was like,
His
what?
son is
Ron from
Rand
YouTube?
Paul.
Too many
That's-
R Pauls.
Well, you know,
RuPaul, RuPaul, Rand Paul, Ron Paul. Too many R Pauls.
Then they went OPPS. Ops.
Sure.
So, I will be getting
The Ontario Provincial Police Service.
yes, I will be getting. Now we know that I will be getting the King Bee 2, which is very excited for that. I'm looking forward to, and I know Hinted Shrimp said I'm excited for the King Bee 2 review. I am as well, but I didn't have the original King Bee, which I kind of wish I had a version of it so I could kind of compare the two. But I will be comparing them to the AKGP series as well as the NT2A. I've got a couple other options in there. Joey Scar. Has Joey Scar been a part of this stream?
I don't think so. I'm
Joey.
pretty good at remembering
Welcome
most of the names.
to the
Welcome.
stream.
So I want to talk about something interesting, audio related, for a change. So this is something that this is something that that's raising a bigger question, and it's something that Louis Rosman addressed a few weeks ago, related to Adobe, actually. But this is actually from an Adobe article that was posted in April. So this isn't terribly new news. A lot of people here have probably already heard this already, but I think it's interesting to talk about. So back in April, Adobe retired the activation service for their Creative Suite platforms from CS4 and before. So
Really?
basically, what this means is if you own Adobe CS2 or CS4, a non-pirated version of it, you are no longer able to install it and activate it on a system.
Wow.
Yeah. Which the funny thing that Rossman brought up is, but the cracked version that you bought or that you got at some point totally works fine. We'll never have an issue with that.
Well, and you can get cracks for your legit.
Yeah, and so
copies.
now with the people that have bought it legitimately and have the legitimate software, they're now obviously going to have to jump ship, either go to CC or use some of the cheaper alternatives not made by Adobe. And so this raises, I think, a question. And the question is, and we're seeing this with everybody. We're seeing this with Adobe, was really the first to get super bold about it. Avid is doing it.
Yep.
Obviously, Microsoft is doing it with the 365 platform now, where manufacturers of hardware and software are moving away from the ability for us to own anything anymore. Everything is rent. You got to pay monthly for this, And the question that I have is, where is this going to stop? And I have an argument for and against. The argument that I have for is, well, if you're paying for it, you are pretty much guaranteed, that you're going to have some support, and you would think the company would be invested in maintaining their products. But as we've seen with some of what Adobe has reneged on the last little while. That's not necessarily true. Even if you're paying $25 a month for a product, you're not necessarily going to have the most up-to-date, they're not going to cover your ass. So the argument against is I liked the old days where you bought a version of a software and you owned it. You never had to pay for it again.
But did you own it?
Because, and this is why I like that, because that incentivizes the developer to make a newer version that's better and to innovate. Because if they don't, their business tanks. Whereas Adobe, they've got the industry monopoly in the video business and the photography business. So they could just sit there with their hands behind their head and not do anything, and people will still pay monthly for their software,
but
and they've still got income.
Own it before. Even then, and here's the thing. If you buy a movie, like a DVD, do you own the DVD?
You own the physical DVD, the content on the DVD, you own a license.
Yes, and that license can be revoked.
It can be. There have been court cases that have been won against companies that have tried to invoke a license. Because it's one of those things.
But it's not going to happen with the DVD, but it can happen with Adobe. It can happen with all of these.
Well, and the funny thing is, after they discontinued that, there were some rumors going around that or Adobe had published an article saying that someone may try to sue them if they continued using the antiquated version, which, I'm sorry, I've read an end-user license agreement. That is an agreement that is agreed upon at the time of purchase.
Yes.
It's like if I
We'll
sign
get to your
a lease,
question in a second, Joey. Continue.
If I sign a lease, just finishing the point, really. But if I sign a lease for an apartment, and that lease is a 12-month term, and the landlord decides that partway through they want to make the rental unit a smoke-free building, and that they want to amend the lease, they literally have to send out an addendum. I have to sign it. Otherwise, it doesn't apply to me. So with software and media agreements, it really needs to be something similar. So, yeah, whether or not someone's going to fight it, it is fightable, though.
End user licensing agreement, because you got to remember, apartment versus a work of art. So when you buy an album, you don't own the music that's on that. You're licensing the ability.
You're licensed to use it for specific purposes, but they can't suddenly decide after you've purchased the album to restrict your usage of it.
But here's the thing. They can do that with software. And they have games and user license agreement. They've all said that. Even Amazon has gone to say any digital purchases are not yours. So you don't own anything.
We're not talking digital purchases. We're talking I buy Windows on a DVD and install it.
But what's the difference between owning the DVD and owning digitally? Is just a physical version in your hands. It doesn't mean it's yours. It's just...
Yeah, but the EULA printed on the packaging, you could easily take that to court and argue it out of the court.
Which is why we're pushing to digital. Okay, so really quick, I'm going to go... Bang said a few things.
Joey.
Apparently, Dr. No, Ron Paul is Dr. No, was live streaming and he had a stroke live on YouTube. Ooh. His audience contacted EMS. Sorry to hear. That sucks.
Yeah.
Then Bang says, remember when Microsoft discontinued the DRM server for all their books and music? Which is, once again, that's the problem, is you don't own any of that.
Well, see, that goes the other way. If you turn off DRM, you're basically opening it up.
Yeah.
It's the other, you're not restricting their license, you're actually just broadening it.
Yeah, and games have done the same thing. Games, the end user license agreement.
So this is the problem, is now on a subscription model where every month you're essentially agreeing to a new EULA. Now they can literally do, like, you can't argue it now, not to mention, we're going to get to the point where everything about our systems is going to be paid for. Like, I've been running into this issue now where, since we last did stream, I've built a new machine. It's sitting next to me on the operating table. And I'm having to reinstall and negotiate deals for a bunch of software pieces that are either not supported anymore.
Yeah.
Or, they're charging a subscription model for it, which is driving me nuts.
Already embraced this with everything else. Look at how we consume our music. We don't own physical music anymore. Like, I own records, but we don't own physical music. Spotify, whether or not you go and open Spotify one month, you're still charged for it.
Oh yeah.
So we just have we're paying
$10 a month.
We're paying for the access. Well, but
not
that's
$25 a month.
So,
or $16 a month.
Really quick, Joey wants to know. We'll get back to this in a second. But Joey wanted to know, ribbon mics, are they necessary in your mic collection? By the way, I do have a review on a ribbon mic coming up. Or are they mics
yeah.
that can do it better? Or are there mics that can do it better? Guitar cabs, vocals, etc. I see a lot of people praise them, but they use cardioid 9 out of 10 times. Ribbon mics are not cardioid. Ribbon mics
are figure eight, pretty much all the time.
So continue. What are you using a ribbon mic for, Dylan?
Ribbon mics do have a purpose, and they honestly can't really be replaced by anything else. That said, they have a very niche purpose. I wouldn't say they're like a mainstream thing. Like you don't need a Royer or a Coles 4038 in your mic locker. It depends what you're doing. I'd say if you're doing a lot of blues stuff, ribbons are great. Blues guitar, for example.
Nice and warm.
Yeah, blues on an acoustic guitar, or blues. Ribbon on an acoustic guitar for especially like a Martin sounds amazing. For VO, I keep wanting to say blues. Ribbon mics do have a particular niche. I would test a ribbon mic with your voice.
Yeah.
Royer has a new mic, actually, a cheaper alternative to their larger lineup. That's like $600, which for a Royer is like, what? How's that even possible?
Yeah.
And so if you are interested, I would suggest like find one at a music store, rent it,
try
it out. Because they do have they're a character mic. They're not transparent. They're not, the quality of them is not higher. In fact, the high end on them is generally pretty atrocious. Not to mention they need to be gained. They need to be gained to hell. Yeah. Which is the other problem. They're basically like they have the same issue as the SM7 in most cases.
I've got a review on the ART AR5.
Which is, that's a weird one, the AR Active Ribbon 5, in the sense that basically the AR5 comes with a really, hate to say it, I hate to knock a product because we've gotten slammed on that. It's got a shitty version of a cloud lifter in it. Yeah. It's not a great, and the noise on it particularly is, so honestly, if you buy the AR5, you're better off buying you're sweating like crazy, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm not feeling well. I'm just saying.
Yeah, you're better off opening the mic though. If you get the AR5, take out their existing amplification.
Yeah.
And then
by the way,
get a
hint to
cloud
shrimp,
lifter.
metal vocals on a ribbon mic, the pickup is so low. Anyways,
pickup is low, and ribbon mics are also very sensitive. Like if you drop one, I wouldn't want to use one on a machine gun kick, for example.
No, they're very, very well. The ribbon breaks, it's done.
The ribbon is a micron thick.
Yeah,
like it's gonna break.
Okay, so let's get back here.
So to your point, really. Sorry, Banks. You were saying
Banks says Google in 2030 you'll own nothing and be happy. And basically, that's where we're at. We're not. Our media is being consumed, and now our productive suites are being like Microsoft Office. We're all being pushed to the 365 model, and honestly, even I see the point to it. Like
I looked at it, and honestly, if it wasn't for the fact that it comes with a terabyte of OneDrive storage, the $6 for Office would seem a little stupid. But because it comes with that terabyte of really convenient cloud storage, I'm like, okay, all right.
Well, and that's a big deal when you're looking at, okay, go out, buy Office, install Office, or you can just have it on every device, just web-based. Like it's,
you
awesome.
could. It's kneecapped. The web version is not as capable as the desktop variants.
Nowhere near, but at the same time, it's also.
But if you need a basic thing to type up documents, it's
companies
fine.
love it, and this is who it's being released for. And when you look at with programs like Adobe Audition, what they're doing is they're separating themselves from everyone else, like the Audacity, all the free or the pretty cheap ones, by saying, okay, we're going to be a premium product that you're going to pay us obscene amounts of money. By the way, my 1 year's coming up, and I'm going to end up having to pay, I think it's like $130 a month Canadian for it.
Oh, that's shitty.
Probably not going to.
That's shitty. So to your point, though, you brought up and you compared it to streaming services. So to that point, I would say what I would like to see have happen at some point is a software portal that I pay, $50 a month and get whatever software is in that portal is mine from a variety of different companies. Because the problem is, so using the Spotify analogy, I don't go on Spotify and pay a different monthly fee to a different label for every single album that I buy. I pay one blanket license fee. It's over. as long as I pay that, I get access to
The
the
only
bajillion worth of stuff.
reason that is so cheap is because music industry has gotten destroyed over the past 20
Yeah,
years.
well, and Spotify is shafting artists as far as payouts go,
big time.
and well, labels also. If labels are involved, even if labels aren't involved, you still get shafted. But if they are involved, you're especially shafted. But so that said, I mean, the $10 a month, it would definitely be more than that. Like, even if I could pay $100 a month and get access to whatever software that I needed on this portal, like Adobe, Office, all that, you know what? I'd probably go for it.
But it's interesting because you're looking at VST plugins. Guess
Yep.
what? They're moving. Isotope
Oh, yeah, they're
is
moving there.
Yeah.
Waves as well. Waves is there as well. I think
Yeah.
FabFilter also has something on the horizon for their stuff.
But when you think about a professional like yourself who's making money off those, and if you just pay that just becomes part of your expenses that you write off at the end of the year.
As a business.
Yeah, but
for
who
anyone
else is using Isotope is not a business.
If it gets to the point where, there's tons of hobbyists. What are you talking about? There's tons of hobbyists that use like product or creativity software like that for a hobby.
But there's
and it's
cheaper
going
stuff.
to get to the point where you're not going to be allowed to have a hobby because, look at it this way:
Hobbies are too
if you want to
expensive.
if you want to do photography as a hobby,
Yep.
and you want Photoshop. I mean, albeit Photoshop as actually
It's
not
$10
that-
a month US.
Yeah, it's not crazy, but still.
Yep.
That's you've now added to your bill overheads, and I know the companies that are making this stuff are just hanging on. Well, you pay your gas bill, you pay your hydro bill. It's no different. It's like, I think the problem is we've been spoiled, and we went through how many decades with just software.
And also industries making up. And I hate to be the one to say this, but industries making up for being ripped off for years. Like Adobe themselves, probably one of the top pirated companies of all time.
Oh yeah.
And you know what? Adobe's like, screw it, we're gonna make our money, and that's kind of like even radio stations have been pirating Adobe for years.
Well, and the thing is Adobe hasn't fixed that problem at all.
No, no, they haven't.
Creative Cloud is still regularly piratable.
Yeah,
I
you know
don't know
what?
any.
There's
Stations,
a problem with it though.
The stations aren't pirating them anymore. Well, the big ones aren't anyway. The big ones are just jumping ship to Pro Tools.
Your bridge to
Terabithia.
yeah, but the bridge between Premiere Pro and
the
After Effects doesn't work.
The integrations between software isn't as great, so you've got to do some
sucks.
workarounds.
All right, really quick. Jan says Adobe lost in EU court when they tried to stop a German company selling secondhand software. Oh wow, that was the start of the subscription licenses. That is, see, and that's the problem with big companies like Adobe, and that's what I hate about it.
Is what
it meant the fact that they were trying to stop people from selling secondhand software.
That really bugs me.
When I got out of school for radio, I went out looking for a copy of Adobe CS6 because that's all I wanted at the time. I wanted to be able to do video, audio, and just dick around with this stuff. That's all.
Yeah. Yeah.
And nobody would sell me because I think 5.5 was the one people were trying to get rid of to get 6, and CC was just starting. And nobody would get rid of it. And the people that would, it was like $2,500 because they all saw the CC coming. But it's fascinating to think that that's where it came from, was just a German company selling it. Oh, that's gross.
But again, I think the issue is, and we've seen this a little bit, we've seen it with Microsoft and with Adobe, is the changes in the software between CS 5.5 and CS 6 versus the changes in the software between CC 2014 and CC 2021, a lot less.
Yeah.
So the problem is the software companies are no longer incentivized to innovate. Because it's just like, we're just getting money regardless, so we'll just maintain it. We'll just keep it running with operating systems and stuff, and we're good.
Irony is, and this is what kills me, is they're not only saving money on the actual physical product release.
Oh, yeah, because it's all digital.
It used to come in like this, almost like a binder.
I remember. I have a 5.5 installation book.
And it's like, it was a book, and there was a lot. Like, it probably cost them $30 just to make that book. Like just that one book with the CDs and everything in it. So they lost per person buying that $30 of overhead. plus the manufacturing cost of it all of that, they completely wiped away, and they're just giving you software that you're still paying almost the same amount for. Like per year is so I think it's $99 to $79 a year over 12 months is almost $1,000. So you're paying about 2/3 the cost over the course of a year. It's true.
I think, and we're seeing this with hardware now as well. Like you've got with both with cars, computers, phones, where you buy it and it's like, I'm sorry, I've spent $1,800 on this phone. This is my fucking phone.
Yeah.
But then Apple's like, well, no. If it breaks, you have to bring it back to us.
Yeah.
Because if it breaks,
That's
I'm like,
changing
okay.
quick.
So basically, these are leased.
Yeah. Well,
These are
that's
leased.
John Deere tractors have terms of service you have to
Yes,
agree to.
I just saw
Yeah.
a video about that. There are right to repair legislation hearings before Congress actually in the States to talk about this very thing with regards to hardware, not software.
Hold up. Hint of Shrimp is making cornbread waffle.
Send me
Nice.
now.
Yeah.
Send me now.
John Deere tractors can all be repaired at authorized service centers. Yeah, and you know what? That whole thing, the right to repair being put on by Louis Rossmann or being pushed by Louis Rossmann,
Yeah.
I think is going to clear a bit of that up. Can you imagine metal vocals on a ribbon mic? Yeah, it'll work. Midnight Wolf, think of this. A company like ASUS can require a program in order to use a computer or else the hardware doesn't work properly. Do you own the computer or just pay to use? Here's the thing. That software ability has been available for some time. Do you? I think MDG is a Canadian company. Have you heard of MDG?
Yep.
They're the ones that you buy a computer for only $12 a month, but you end up paying like $4,000 for it by the time you're done.
Yeah.
They had, I think it was in 2006, they were selling computers with a kill switch, so they could just hit enter and you couldn't use your computer if you stopped paying for it.
Nice.
In 2006. So yeah, technically.
See, I would have just rented the computer, formatted the whole thing.
Well, it's not that hard to do, but most people who are buying it through MDG don't know that, right?
Oh yeah, obviously,
So,
yeah.
if
Well,
you're
even like you said, the software requirement for motherboards, specifically for motherboards, has been around for a long time. I mean, this system I'm on right now, it doesn't require the software. It makes life easier because you can change a bunch of the BIOS features right from the OS, which is nice. But like the new ASUS motherboard that I just got, which the UEFI is getting really big. Like I've noticed that my current motherboard, I was able to wrap my head around it. This thing, the tabs and tabs.
Yep.
And
They're
tabs.
massive.
Even there's just a tab for the TPM module that I had to install. By the way, I discovered reading an article that it's actually fairly uncommon that motherboards will come with a TPM module. But I reckon with the advent of Windows 11 and its requirement for a TPM module, I imagine that's going to change.
So you can probably just turn it on in the BIOS and then Windows 11 goes, yep, TPM module there.
Well, it just by default it's on. Like Windows 10 even uses it. Like I went into Windows 10. And actually, it's funny. I installed it and then I installed Windows. And after installing Windows, I cleared the TPM module from the BIOS because you can do that. And then I logged in and Windows was actually like, hey, I don't know any of your passwords anymore. So you've got to log back in. It wasn't a huge. I just had to log back into my OneDrive But I was like, oh, that's kind of neat. So it stores all your credentials on this basically unhackable module.
Nice. Okay, so let's. We're getting
back on task. Yeah.
Office 365 for 5 PCs is $100 US. Ugh. The GOG Game Store is DRM free and like that. I do like GOG Game Store.
Yeah, but 365, as long as you're logged in with your, like, if you got OneDrive Personal, as long as you're logged in with your same account, you can put it on unlimited machines
web.
as long as it's the same account.
Well, and it's web. You can't put it on multiple machines. You've got.
Yes, you can. I just did.
Can you?
Yeah, I've installed Office, and because both machines I'm logged in with the account that it's licensed to. It runs, but it will only run. So if you have a machine with multiple user accounts, it will only install it on the one that you have the license for. So I guess it's assumed that, yeah.
Acusonus is now rental as well. Version 6 of ERA is out, and I still own ERA 4. Nice. Hint of Shrimp. Yar har, being a pirate is all right with me.
When I try to avoid it, but honestly, when there's literally no other reasonable option.
Yeah, it's hard. Like I've gotten rid of 99% of my pirated stuff, but It's because I'm making money. If I wasn't making money, I wouldn't. Like, before I was making money at YouTube, it was all pirated. Just saying. Like,
yeah, even before, Pro Tools, I've always had a non-pirated version, although pirated versions are available.
yeah.
But all my plugins, like I had Waves Mercury at one point pirated. Now
Nice.
I'm Waves Mercury legit. So
Midnight Wolf says, I use GIMP. Nice. I hear GIMP is
GIMP.
good.
What? That's the photo editing thing, eh?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently, it's
I
quite good.
saw it only. I've only ever seen GIMP in context of alternatives to Photoshop. That's the only time I've ever seen GIMP talked about. So
Joey Scar, I can't wait until DOS software companies start disabling older versions of their software. They will.
Well, already they right now they're not disabling them. They're just making life really challenging if you don't have a new
It's
version.
so easy, and I'm not telling anyone to go out and get this, but it's so easy to get a pirated copy of CC 2018. Like that. It's
Honestly,
not hard at all.
This is one reason why a lot of recording studios, their studio machines are disconnected from the ether, because there are a lot of recording studios still running Pro Tools 7.
Oh yeah.
On the Windows XP.
Yeah, that's
and it
sad.
still works fine.
And it's just not Windows XP should not be on the internet.
No. Oh hell, Windows 7 shouldn't even be on the internet. Actually, come October 2024, Windows 10 shouldn't even be on the internet.
No, and it won't be. M1 Mac will force a lot of people to upgrade to the restricted versions. Yeah, M1 Mac, well, but what are you going to do if you want an M1? John Deere tractors are like that. In the States, the Library of Congress has sessions every couple of years. They determine what copyrights they will allow users to ignore. Yeah, that's with everything. You live in a
that's a blanket.
Yeah, you live in a corporate country. Yeah. This is how unlocked phones arrived in the U.S. It was due to the Library of Congress forcing AT&T and Verizon. Yep. I got my new Rolls MS-111 hardware mute switch. I need to get one of those.
I like Rolls. Rolls is a good company. They make weird stuff, but it's stuff that they make stuff that if you're looking for a solution and Rolls solves it, Rolls is probably the only company that solves it.
I would love the mute switch. The mute switch would be great, like cough switch.
I'm gonna make one only because I want to be able to link my Wheatstone mic processor to the light on that arm.
Yeah, all you need is a three-way switch.
Oh yeah, well I have to get a couple switches. One is a cough switch, and then there's a separate on-off push button. So I'm just going.
The difference is how when you're especially with a condenser microphone, that's where the problem lies. Is you don't want to cut off the power. Because
which it doesn't. It just basically cuts the signal flow from the start of the pre to the end of the pre. It doesn't cut what goes to the mic.
Oh, because I was thinking of like the Rolls. I believe is the one in between. You hook it up in between your microphone.
Yeah. Okay. In this case, it actually just connects into a digital input on the back of the pre.
Liberty, dude.
Finally.
Liberty, dude. Jesus.
Larberty.
ZipFIZZ. I just downed this earlier.
Go back and watch.
Yeah, go back.
Aiden's making a short out of it because I told him to.
This tasted gross. But there's whoever, I think it was Liberty Dude that told me to just down this and then drink the water. I don't know whoever said that, man. Worth the money, I guess.
I just had a sales rep call me an overachiever.
Aw, look at you. Really quick, you're back to it. Where were we? I have to add dampening filter to it. It can get it to ring. Yeah, and that's the problem with those switches is I'm worried about because I want it for on air. I don't want to have to cut my 48 volts every time I want to turn my mic off while someone's doing news. I would like to just be able to boop.
No, plus that's not safe. When you turn the 48 volts off on your preamp, there's actually a capacitor, so it gradually it will ease into the 48 and ease out. If you just cut the signal, actually, I know people that have killed condenser mics doing that.
You can kill your mic. That's why you don't unplug it with 48 volts on.
That's why, when you're in a studio environment and you've got a bunch of people striking on the floor, the sort of industry standard is there's one person on the board. Their job is right away to go and kill phantom power. Wait 30 seconds and then yell phantom out, and that tells people they can unplug shit.
Wow, eh?
For that exact reason, because you can kill really expensive mics. Actually, somebody that I know killed a $14,000 or a $12,000 AKG C12 doing that. Yeah. So
Did they?
don't.
Because I've accidentally unplugged it.
Sometimes, honestly, it's not like the odds of it doing something nasty is not crazy, but there is a risk.
But that C12 was probably how old? It was probably from the 60s or the 70s. The
80s.
AKG C12? 80s?
It was in
Yeah.
80s, yeah.
So it's irreplaceable.
Pretty much.
Yeah. That's the problem.
The,
And
yeah,
it's
the
also,
modern day C12s, especially now that they're not made in Austria anymore, the modern day C12s don't come close to the
No,
old
but
boss.
you got to also remember we do have fail safes in a lot of the newer mics to avoid that problem.
Yeah.
So
You would think, but I know someone where an AKG P120 got fried. Got fried from the same phantom power issue.
Really, eh? For the true hobbyists that are creating non-professional quality, there are budget competitors for everything, including software.
Oh, yeah.
And you know what?
Reaper, honestly, for audio production, Reaper, I've been recommending Reaper these days right, left, and center because it's just so cheap.
I've considered moving over to Reaper, but I've been trying to move all my stuff over to Mac. The problem is the quantity of what I want to do. I can't move over to M1 until I get the M1X or whatever the next one is. I can't like my life can't go backwards in the amount of like my computer's built to do video editing.
Yeah.
That's so I can push a lot of content through this thing and have no problem.
Honestly, like, if you do go to the M1 at some point, the like Reaper does have an ARM instruction set version that's specific.
I'm going to Logic. Because I'm an educator. So I'm a teacher. I teach.
Oh, you're going to be indoctrinating people with Logic.
Well, no,
Logic
I mean,
Pro.
I might as well use Logic. You get the whole thing, the whole package of 5 programs for $280.
Oh yeah, because they know you got to have one of their bloody computers,
right?
Yeah.
Shoot a second one. No bangs. I don't think I will ever eat one of these that way. I might try this in water.
Oh no, you and I should both. I mean, you got a whole half box. We should just both do it.
Don't do that.
We should both do it next week.
Shh! I'm turning your mic off. I'm singing pirate shanties now.
Pirate shanties.
I be singing the pirate shanties all over the place. There. Cheaper condensers resist that sort of thing with the phantom power. Traction is nice, Ken. I don't want to know what you're doing. Reaper, it really kicks the llama's ass. I've played with Reaper quite a bit. It's the workflow for me. If I was pressed, I would learn the workflow and be okay with it.
That's the same thing here. Like, I mean, there's lots of people like I'm just so integrated into the Pro Tools universe and the Media Composer universe that it just doesn't make sense at this point. If Avid ever does me a really bad wrong at some point, I will 100% jump ship to Reaper. But for the moment,
and Bang says Logic has a ton of loops and samples. I love their drum machine. The drum machine on it's so fucking awesome. Midnight, a friend of mine killed one of my SM58s when I had Phantom on unplugging it. I could see that.
Unless the cable that you're using was hooked up wrong, that shouldn't be a thing that can happen because the way that the 48 volts goes in, like the pins that it goes in on, it cancels out at the transformer. So, that's
interesting. Yeah,
there would have either had to been a wiring fault in the microphone or on the board or on the cable. Because, normally most dynamic mics that are rigged up like that, which is pretty much every dynamic mic, other than a ribbon, that won't really affect anything.
Bang says you hear all the samples on podcasts all the time. You know what? You might as well.
Surprised.
Like, you can make your own music. Why not? Why spend money? Actually, I'm moving away from Epidemic Sound as soon as I can get all of the Logic and everything up and running.
Epidemic Sound.
I'm still waiting for M1X, the Mac Mini Pro, whatever they're calling it. That's
just
probably
wait for the M2. Wait for Apple to figure out what they screwed up on with the M1.
I'm spending $130 a month on Adobe beyond this. Do you know how much money that's more than twice the price I'm paying now? So I might as well put that money into something that I'm going to like get the M1X, whatever. By the way, this is the one. Where did I put it?
What?
I've got the Audio-Technica AT2040. I need help on figuring out the name of a video, guys. I'm doing the AT2040, and I'm taking the capsule out of an SM58, and I'm rigging it into the AT2040 along with where is it? There it is. Along with the FET head. So I'm going to be making myself an SM7B with a FET head in the middle. Technically. But it's going to be in the body of the AT2040. So it's a Frankenstein mic in a body of another microphone.
Yep.
What would you name that video?
Pig in a blanket.
Okay, anyone else have anything to say about that?
Pig in a blanket. Pig in a blanket.
Not sure. It was when I had an 80s PV board just starting out. A PV board.
That'll do it.
My God.
That'll do it.
Joey, I've got a modded Super 55 that has LED lights that run on phantom power. I was wondering if unplugging it directly would wreck the caps on that. Possibly. Basically,
It wouldn't wreck the caps. I mean, caps are literally by design kind of supposed to smooth out voltages. So if anything, the caps might save you a little bit.
Or on
but
cheap electronics, just
I was gonna
blow
say,
indiscriminately.
Disclaimer, don't try that.
If you got cheap caps. So I'm gonna be maybe I'll put out a bit of a what do you think I should name this video? Because I really want people to see this video. The SM7B one, the SM58 where I rewired it, didn't get a lot of traction. Like, it's slow traction, it's continuous, but it didn't do anything like what the original SM58 versus SM7B video did, which was a little disappointing because I thought that was a better version of it. So I'm kind of want to make sure this one gets going. Someone said this to someone asking a question on the sub. You can't clip in the digital domain, and I choked. You can't clip in the digital domain? What?
This is the most obscure thing I've ever heard. Of course you can. In fact, clipping in the digital domain is easier than any other domain.
Right? Well, and the distortion is so much worse.
Well, yeah, because it literally, like, there is no, in the digital world, or in the analog world, if you clip, or if you overload a preamp or an op amp, it'll still go above a line. With the digital world, it's literally a concrete ceiling. It will be a straight line if you clip it hard enough. So,
well, the worst part is there's some people that have overdriven pre's for a specific sound because they want the drive, the overdrive.
There's pre's that have a really characteristic sound in that sort of driven sense. I have a few here that I use and I'll intentionally drive them a little too hard to get some of that juiciness.
Yeah, but you can't do that with digital.
No.
Bang says, I said exactly that, Dylan. Midnight Wolf says the original Franken mic. I like it. That might work.
Franken mic, yeah. The original, the OG Franken mic.
I'm working on the concept of the video and how to shoot it properly. Like, this is one of the things that you try to do when you get a little bit bigger as a channel is you don't just want to be like, this is how I did this. Click. Done. So I want to actually develop the story of the video and try to figure out how to shoot it so it's the most entertaining, the most fun, also the most engaging. So it's not coming immediately. I got a whole bunch of videos leading up to Christmas to shoot. So stay tuned for that, though. That's going to be a fun one. And I want to actually start doing more modding on this channel. Like, one of the things I really want to do is I want to start playing around with shit. And I want to build my own dynamic microphone. So I'm going to build a rudimentary dynamic microphone and see if it works. And I'm going to try to do the video with that. I also want to build my own condenser microphone, possibly rudimentary. We're going to see.
That one might be a little tougher. The dynamic one sounds fun.
The condenser one's going to be really tough, but it can be done. It's rudimentary. Remember, we're not talking like I'm not building a TLM 102.
No.
I'm going to be building a rudimentary.
It's just going to be a matter of trying to get your whatever, like aluminum foil, I'm sure. Or whatever. Copper. I'd use copper foil. It's going to oxidize like crazy. But as a proof of concept,
I'm not going to be using this mic for very long.
But it's going to be trying to get those close enough together that they're like just you know?
Yeah.
But then not touching. That's going to be the tough part. And then mounting that somehow.
Oh, it's going to be interesting.
Not to mention the electronics.
Will I have a Halloween episode? Frank and Mike horror stories. I don't know. Maybe I should do a Halloween thing.
Yeah, you'll like do a resurgence, like the Dark Corner Radio meets Dark Corner Studio.
Yeah, nobody liked...
This is the time Charles Manson used a U-87.
I got shit on big time when I tried doing story time on this channel. Like, people were... One guy actually said to me, know what you're worth, stay in your lane.
I remember you telling me that somebody did that.
And I was like, holy shit, do you have to be so mean about it?
Savage.
Make them carbon mic as a concept in modern times. See, carbon mics, I don't even know how they're put together.
I've used one. I've never opened one up. I've been curious because they have their own. They're like ribbon mics. They have their own sound. But
yeah. Bark at Obscure Mics did a bunch of Franken mics. I've watched a few. I've chatted with the guy from Obscure Mics. Is it Bark? Anyways, I've chatted with the dude from Obscure Mics a couple times, and he's like, yeah, dude, you need to do this. So I'll talk to them. Making a carbon mic as a concept in modern times. That's an interesting one. I'll have to look at how carbon mics are.
And then compare that to mics that attempt to...
Is it a carbon filament?
Yes, I believe the...
Where the hell would I get a carbon filament?
I don't know, grab a piece of coal and rub it against a napkin or something. I don't know. But I mean, like, carbon mics were kind of at the onset of, like, the Industrial Revolution. So as far as how to build them, because there was no, like, precise manufacturing that existed in those times. So it's probably, compared to building any other type of mic, it'd probably be quite easy.
Clamping nuts, front electrode, front casing, back electrode, back casing.
Provided
bracket.
You could find the shit for
carbon granules.
Yeah, so just basically grab some...
coal and rub it out.
Coal, yeah.
Yeah, rub it out, buddy.
Rub it out, yeah.
Yeah.
No, okay, so coal or even some graphite could probably simulate. Graphite has a similar resistance to...
this is why women don't watch this stream, by the way. We make rub it out jokes.
Yeah.
Bark is his nickname. Yeah, I'll have to touch base.
And then do that, and then compare it to a modern day emulated equivalent like the copper phone.
Yeah, I wanted to pick up. I think it's Bandrew got the copper. Is it the copper phone Bandrew got? He got the. It's honestly, it's a cool mic. I want to buy one. Yeah,
and they're not even that expensive.
Well,
they're like $700.
Yeah,
which
not really expensive.
Compared to some of the other things in my locker, that's not that bad.
Yeah, or you can get an SM7B for what?
That price. You get cheaper. 2 MV7s for that price.
Yeah, right. So yeah, this is the stuff that I do want to play with. I want to do some more Franken mics. I want to do some more. I want to build I want to get one of those packages you can get to build a U87. They send you the U87 capsule, but there's also an upgrade kit for my NT2A that'll give you the U67 capsule, not the exact same, but it's kind of like the replacement capsule for it, the K67.
You know, it'd be an interesting video. Sorry, this just hit me as far as just interesting videos to do. This is so nuts. So finish your thought, because I'm just going to be an asshole and just cut you off.
No, do it. I want to hear now.
See, this is I'm a creative nut job, so anytime an idea just comes to my head, I'm like, ha! But no, so, one thing that people don't talk a lot about is I would be interested to see, a bunch of, retail, all-in-one or desktop machines, and I'd be interested to see a shootout between the on-chip interfaces, the on-chip motherboard sound, just the built-in sound card, basically.
Oh.
And to see if you were to plug in, obviously not an SM7, but an SM58, which theoretically you should be able to get an okay amount of gain into that from and I'd be interested to see noise level comparisons, Lenovo versus Asus versus Acer versus Dell versus HP. That's a very expensive video to do.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to start saving up.
I should almost pitch I should send Linus an email and be like, hey, fun idea for a video. I know it's not
sound.
You guys spend so much time talking about graphics, which granted nobody gives a shit about onboard sound in most cases, but it is an interesting thing from a professional standpoint, because again, I'm looking at this system. So here's where I'm at with my new build. I have an MBox 2 that I sort of use as a, and it's very old, and it's like a 15, 20-year-old interface. And I use it strictly as a USB 2. It's Windows sound card. It is what Windows uses to do its thing.
Yeah.
And I'm at the point now where I was like, okay, it's getting up there. If this is a future-proof system, I should probably not install the drivers for that thing and try to find an alternative. So, this particular board that I have, this Asus, X3 Hero or whatever, is actually like one of the big marketing points is supposed to be the on-chip audio. It's supposed to be really good. So, and it's got a digital out on it. So I'm kind of half inclined to just plug the outputs of my board, just get a 3.5 mil to 2/4 inch Y cable.
Yeah.
Just plug it into the bloody board and see how it is.
So really quick, I'm just going to interrupt there. AJ German, welcome to the stream, buddy. My construction buddies got a morning concoction where they would take a big gulp cup, fill it with ice, ZipFIZZ, a can of Mountain Dew, and a can of Red Bull. Video title is the reason I'm saying that. It tastes killer. Don't try it. I'm having freaking heart palpitations from the ZipFIZZ alone.
Just with that, yeah.
Now, to be fair, I've been up since 4 this morning. I've drank 4 cups of coffee. I'm already buzzing. So I don't know if it was the smartest thing. Maybe I should have cut down on some coffee today or not. But this thing, I'm warm. Like I feel warm.
How long ago was your last cup, of coffee?
Of coffee? Right before the stream.
Oh, you fucking idiot.
What? I like coffee. I like coffee. But this,
you knew this was going to happen.
No, I kind of,
anyway.
When you're like drinking, you're like, oh shit, something. Oh, wait. Oh, shit. When you like just downed a bunch of Tylenol and you're drinking a beer going, my liver's going to hate me.
You should have put a Post-it note on the kettle that you used to heat up the water-free coffee, and you just said, no Friday coffee.
So this thing, I don't think I would do this with Mountain Dew. Like obscene amounts of sugar.
Along with Red Bull. God.
You should try out a Texone Audio X2. I did. Stellar X2. I've got the video up.
I actually might buy one. I mean, I saw it when I was at your place there.
See, the Neumann U87, I actually have a video coming up soon. It's the Neumann versus the Texone Audio Stellar X2. It's not as much of a Neumann killer as a lot of people put it out to be. That said, it sounds freaking fantastic. It was one of my favorite mics for the longest time.
Yeah, for the price. Like I heard it because you showed me the AB when I was at your place, and I listened to it, and then I looked at it it's a nice looking mic. It's cheap, and I saw the price. I'm like, geez, I could get like 3 of these.
Yeah, I want to get the X3, but we'll see.
Is that also an LDC?
They sent me the X2. See, here's the problem with Stellar mics or whatever they call it, Texone audio products. So they called me and they're like, hey, would you like the mic? And I'm like, sure. But usually I think they were going on you send the mic back to us. But the problem is when you send it over the U.S.-Canadian border, if you're sending it to keep, you have to pay. If it's a review sample, you don't have to pay. So if I'm sending it back, like with Zoom, when I get their stuff, I send it back. With TechZone, they sent it up and I had to pay $150 for the fees for coming over the border. I'm not giving your mic back. I'm not paying $150 to do a review for your mic.
Well, and then you send it back to them, and then they have to pay.
But that's the point. So all you have to do is put review sample on it, and you don't pay for it. So I just assumed, thanks for the mic. But so they haven't sent me the X3.
I wonder why.
But why did you send it to me like that? Anyways, we'll see if the X3 ends up on my desk at some point. They have a proprietary shock mount now. It's not just one of those clip-on shock mounts, which I like. But I do have to say, I think mine's a little broken. I can't remember why I took it off, but it was my main driver for the longest time. And if you want to check it out, I did cover the X2. And the X2 versus the Neumann U87AI is on the way. I hate it when newbies get access to caffeine. It's like driving on St. Patrick's Day. Now,
did you ever get any word back from Vanguard?
No. Actually, that's a good point. Sorry, man.
That's disappointing.
I'll continue to reach out. It might not have gone to the right person. Person.
I was just thinking because I'm staring at the V13 as we're talking, and in my head I was like, oh, when I'm back in town for Christmas, I'll bring that, and then you can do a little review on that. But I'm like, well, I'm not going to go to the trouble of packing it into its stupid briefcase and bringing it like that if you're just gonna get a deal with them anyway.
Let me call them, and that's usually what breaks through because I'll email and a lot
Oh yeah,
of the times.
if you can get them on the phone, and now they're like, uh-oh, like
Well,
we got to say something.
marketing managers, and that's who you usually have to contact. They're busy. They're marketing their freaking product and they're trying to sell it. So I don't blame them if they're not. But they might have looked at me and said, "Nah, small potatoes, we're good." The problem is I also offered to like as a lend program, which most
I was gonna
companies
say,
will bite
if you're
for.
managing to swing deals with Rode, I don't think the small fish argument applies anymore.
Yeah, but it's small fish, high end. Like Vanguard, well, high end is
You're like a small freshwater salmon, or like small Arctic char.
Yeah, this is interesting. I wouldn't mind seeing some Stag microphones. I've never heard of Stag microphones. Not going to say it's
Stag?
SM58 quality, but they sound good. All right. Liberty Dude, the Stellar X2 at its original asking price of $149 was worth it.
Oh my God, well worth it in my opinion.
After Booth Junkie video, it raised to $260. Honestly, I
Still.
would have paid $260 for it.
Yeah, $260 I think is still reasonable.
The problem, and this is where I do agree with Liberty Dude, is $260 for getting a microphone with a generic and a really generic shock mount. It's one of the clip shock mounts that you put the mic in, and like it's got a spring. It's not worth that with that setup. Like you could build that microphone yourself for probably the price of the capsule. And the capsule
Clip.
you can get.
I'm trying to visualize the
So,
type of shock mount you're talking
The
about.
shock mount is like it's a spring, so you have to squeeze the two ends and you slip the microphone in and let them go, and the mic stays in the shock mount.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Even my shittiest mics that have shock mounts don't. They're all screw. They're all friction.
you can buy the exact same shock mount on Amazon for $12. And that's problematic. I don't like that
Yeah,
about
if you're
it.
going to be charging to it, like even the Perception series, which is half the price of that, comes
Yeah.
with a better shock mount. Like,
Oh,
come on.
the shock mounts in the P series were fantastic.
Yeah.
However, I would have to say the sound quality on the Stellar X2 stood up. It was
Yes.
a
Oh,
very
100%.
smooth
Well,
microphone.
that's where the $260, in my
Yeah.
opinion, is worth, is just the sound.
Like it's smoother than any of the P series.
Like the
By a
fact that
long
you can get that close to a U87 AI
Yeah.
for like less than 10% of the cost.
Yeah,
is pretty
Beresford
impressive.
says think Neewer shock mount, and that's exactly what it is. I have to go eat. Thanks for coming, guys. I appreciate it. Thanks for the 99 cents. I'm gonna go buy some candy with that, Midnight Wolf.
Yeah.
Cheers. Thank you very much for joining us. I'm the Franken mic is on the way. Stay tuned for the U87. I'm actually just finishing the production on that. Enjoy the Snowball video coming this Monday, and we'll see you next Friday. Have yourselves a great rest of your weekend, guys.